Hello everyone. Today I'll be talking about slum tourism, which is when tourists visit poor neighborhoods. And my project today is called Poverty on Display: Slum Tourism as Entertainment. And I'll argue that slum tourism is mainly for entertainment rather than helping the communities. Even though some people say it can raise awareness or create income, but in reality, it's often exploit residents, treat poverty like a show, and basically focus on tourists more rather than the people living there. And in this presentation, I'll explain the harms of slum tourism and why it's a controversial practice. So first, what is a slum? What is slum tourism? Slum tourism basically involves visiting impoverished neighborhoods, often for curiosity, education, or entertainment, mainly entertainment. And while some argue it can provide incomes or raise awareness, it still remains highly controversial. Historically, the practice of slumming being, began in Victorian England when the upper class would explore poor neighborhoods for leisure and spectacle, highlighting its roots in entertainment. And in this image right here, it shows that over a billion of people live in slums worldwide and illustrates the portion of each country populations living in slum as of 2022. So yeah. So we want to know the rise of slum tourism. Basically, slum tourism go back to Victorian England, like I said before, and basically upper class visitor would explore poor neighborhoods out of fascinations, and today it growing for a few reasons. First, the media play a big role, like movie like Slumdog Millionaire and viral social media posts make these communities more visible, sparking curiosity. And second, some tourists are genuinely just curious about how people live in very different conditions. Like, and this curiosity drives them to sign up for tours. And finally, there's a growing interest in unusual or intense travel experience. Tourists want something different from typical sightseeing, and slum tourism offer a unique, emotional, powerful experience, basically. And we all know that some tourists could harms the people, not harms, but basically could cause harm to communities it visits. And it exploits residents to satisfy tourist curiosity, turning real neighborhoods into a form of entertainment. And resident dignity and privacy are often affected as people's lives are observed and photographed without much control. So basically, who imagine like people with camera walk into your house without your permission and just shove the camera up your face and your room and how you live. It's annoying. So imagine how people they're living like that. And basically, in short, slum tourism take poverty and use it for entertainment, harming the very community it claims to basically help. And some people argue that slum tourism benefit communities by creating jobs, generating income, or raising awareness about poverty. However, these benefits are often limited and uneven. Most profits go to tour company rather than the resident themselves. And any awareness raised basically rarely lead to any real change. And because of this, the slum tourism still mainly serve tourists, curiosity, and entertainment, rather than helping the community in a meaningful way. And basically, again, slum tourism benefit communities or misleading. In reality, it exploits residents, turning poverty into a spectacle and prioritize tourist entertainment over human dignity. It reinforces power imbalance, violate privacy, and reduce complex communities to something to be observed rather than respected. Instead of addressing poverty, some tourism normalizes inequality and treats human suffering as attraction. So, in the conclusion, slum tourism is not a tool for development or raising awareness. Instead, it prime it basically turned poverty into entertainment. It exploit resident, reinforce like power imbalance, and determine their dignity and privacy rather than addressing the root of poverty. Some tourism basically normalize inequality and don't care about human suffering. And ultimately, it prioritizes tourist experience over community well-being and should be recognized and criticized as a form of exploitations rather than justified as ethical tourism. So yeah, here are my reference.